Previously on Horizon Zero Dawn.
Now these aren't AIs, but make no mistake. Each presents an engineering challenge more profound than anything the human species has ever before attempted. Hardware that preserves and then gestates the billions of seeds and embryos from which life will be reborn.
So this is the fight where I was telling you guys in a previous commentary that I was going to be freezing 3 enemies. Run through here, open up this door, and what you want to do is just go straight. They're going to come out, you're going to hop into this room, and that's it. They freeze. I don't know why, but they freeze in place. And then you can just sit here and get your shots in. And they keep talking all this smack, like, we're going to get you, and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of funny to listen to. And then they just don't do nothing. They just chill, all 3 of them. You would think that this would never be possible in a very hard mode of any game, right? You would just think this is not possible. Like if I wrote this down on a Reddit post or on my website or something like that and said this is how you do it, you would almost not believe it. You'd be like, no, man. But then when you try it, they just stop. They freeze in place, and then that's it. And I know when I was playing this, I was like, well, maybe after I kill the first guy and I, start moving a little bit more to the right to get an angle on the second guy, they'll start moving around. It's just not the case. I kill all 3 of these fools right here. And this can be a very, very tricky little section right here because you're kind of in these corridors and it's hard to hop around and dodge because there's always stuff in your way. It could be a very tricky little fight. And the fact that these dudes have guns, well, I think 2 of them have guns. I think the other guy doesn't. Maybe they all 3 have guns. But it doesn't matter because when you're this powerful, when you're in this power position right here, it don't matter what they got because they never use it. And you guys have seen me freeze how many enemies throughout this playthrough already? So it's either my body positioning on the map. I think it's my body positioning on the map. I don't think it's just I don't think these guys would freeze if I stood in any other place. I think there's just magical spots on the map where if you go, they don't know what to do, and so they just stop. That's my only assumption. I wish I were a game developer because then I would know, like I would know. But to me, this is a broken game. There's some games, like I said, like Uncharted, that maybe is a bit too rough on the crushing. Yeah, that dude does have a gun. A bit too rough on the crushing difficulty, right? Because it's a one-shot kill, and like I said, sometimes the checkpoints get you in trouble. But I definitely don't want it to be, I don't want it to be that, I'm not going to say hard. I don't want it to be that annoying, right? A very hard mode in a game like Uncharted. But I definitely don't want a very hard mode to be this easy either. To be able to do some of this stuff and some of the strategies that I've been showing you guys shouldn't be that easy either. But we'll talk about that more as this thing runs on. I think this is going to be it for this fight, and then I think we have some puzzles to solve, so I'll be back in just a sec.
Here we go. Another one of these. Need to find the right configuration. There's a part missing. Maybe there's a storage area nearby. Done. I should check the door nearby. Found one. Looks intact. That should do the trick. Now let's get that door open. That did it. Door should have power.
Now to see what lies beyond it.
Eclipse. They're here.
Avoid contact.
Lines look good.
Gaia. It's up there. Second floor.
Can you reach it?
So much for avoiding contact.
So this is kind of part 2 of what we started a second ago with the 3 guys that we froze. What you're gonna see me do right here is pretty good strategy. You're gonna die on purpose. That's what I do. I come out here, I spin the camera around because the trick here is you can't get back through the door. And what you need is to get back through the door to make this fight, to dominate this fight. Now, yes, you could go around the room and get cover. You can see that on very hard, they still won't kill me quick enough. Look at this. Like, kill me. Thank you. But the reason why you want to do this is because the door will open. For some strange reason, if you die here, you're able to open up the door from the other side, and then you're able to stay out there, which is exactly what you want. Anytime you can funnel opponents to you, that's what you want to do. So now I'm able to open up the door, the fight is engaged, and I can stay back here. So this breaks the fight. Like if you had to stay in that room, pretty crazy. I know the first time I had to stay in that, stayed in that room, even though I knew that I could come back here, because obviously I died my first time in that room. But I was like, well, I know that's probably going to be something I can do on my second playthrough, so let's just see if we can get it done. And it took some doing to get that room clear with arrow only, bow and arrow only in melee. But it's doable. But man, it's crazy. So this is the dominant way to do this, is to get back here in this room, and when they come through this door, you just smack them with that spear goodness, boy, and just keep their angles away, and that's it. A lot of times too, you can hit them through the wall, because this game is similar to Dark Souls in that you can hit enemies through walls and they can hit you through walls. So it's possible for you to get a hit in without them even turning that corner. And you're gonna see that too in a future episode where I take down an entire boss, take no damage, and just basically hit him behind a wall the entire time. So it's a pretty good power position in a future fight. But this is all I'm gonna do right here, is run in this room, draw them out if I can. I think here, these guys are up on the balcony. I think there's 3 guys left. 2 guys up on the catwalk there, and then there's 1 guy at the bottom. But for whatever reason, the guy on the bottom, well, actually there's more, there's 5 people. Oh, so I haven't got to that part yet. Eventually I whittle them down to 2 people up top and 1 guy on bottom. And the guy on bottom has never moved from me. The first time I played the game, he never moved, and this time he never moves. And I just sit there and shoot him, and he just doesn't move. Now, I don't do anything special. Like when I froze the 3 guys earlier, I kind of dove into that room and, you know, did that sort of thing. That's my spot. That dude right there that I'm shooting at now, for whatever reason, he never moves from me. So again, something that should not happen in your hard difficulty. Everybody should just be pushing you, and it should be tough. And if the AI sees that you've got that power position, they should be doing everything to get you out of there. Like at least Uncharted, even though it's quite a bit of grenade tosses at you, at least they're trying to get you out of cover, right? But this game just doesn't. That's where it really falls apart for me in terms of difficulty. And I know before I bought this game, I was reading online that people are, oh man, it's like playing a Dark Souls game. It's tough, but it's just not. Like you just gotta play. You gotta be smarter than the AI. And once you do that, you nullify everything. It doesn't matter what these enemies are holding, what they got going on. It doesn't matter if it's 50 people or 2 people. You know what I mean? Once you know where to go on a map and you dissect it at least the way that I do, then there's nothing they can do to you at all. And that's when I truly feel like I'm dominating. I don't feel like I'm dominating if I'm out there running around and you know, doing attacks and stuff like that, even though that is quite fun to do. But that to me is not as dominant as not being able to die. When you're at a point in a game where you can't die, that's dominant play to me, right? And I respect that kind of play when I see people do it on YouTube. But this is it right here. Do you see this guy? He never moves. I'm standing right here. He doesn't move. And I just take him out. He didn't move the first time either. And that's going to end this little engagement right here.
Someone's here.
Or not.
more anti-space. This is it. Here we are! Shadow!
Room's clear. For a moment, anyway.
Then get moving. You have to find Gaia.
Hello, I'm Margot Shen, and this is Hephaestus. As the name might tip you off, this is going to be the subordinate function that Gaia will use to make lots and lots of robots. Her personal forge. Except, it's not that simple. You probably noticed that only about a third of you are robotics engineers. The rest, experts in machine cognition, virtual heuristics, that stuff. Well, that's because we aren't going to be the ones designing and building robots. The last thing we want is to burden Gaia with a bunch of outmoded 21st century designs. Waste of time. Our purpose is to empower Gaia to build the robots, and not just build, imagine, from scratch. Any robot she needs for any conceivable purpose, designed and fabricated at a snap of a finger. Hers. Her finger. So, Hephaestus isn't really the forge. It's more like the knowledge of craft and ingenuity of a mastersmith to wield the hammer. Encoded as software. Virtual creativity made real. Gaia's already learning. In simulation, she's doing some very creative things with fractal assembly and animal morphologies. Her designs aren't about to win the Liam Prize anytime soon, but hey, everyone has to start somewhere. So, yes, time to get started. Let's do this.
I don't get it.
Which part? It's a little technical in places.
If Gaia was designed to save life, why would the robots it makes attack people?
Perhaps it loves some forms of life more than others.
The derangement. The machines weren't always so angry.
True. Mostly they were docile until 10, 15 years ago.
For years, Hephaestus has been forcing cauldrons to make aggressive machines. I've seen it myself in... I think this is it. Elizabeth Sobek's office. But more Eclipse.
Careful now.
Welcome to Apollo, the collective memory of the human species and the wellspring of knowledge for future generations. I am Samina Ebaji. Until recently, I was director of the International Collective Memory Institute in New Tehran. As a heritage professional, I devoted my career to the preservation of human knowledge, creative endeavor, and cultural achievement. Apollo is, therefore, the ultimate embodiment of a lifelong passion, albeit under the very worst circumstances imaginable. The challenges before us are immense. Specifically, we will have to design and implement 4 major initiatives simultaneously. First, the construction of data repositories in cradle facilities around the world ensuring redundancy. Second, the collection and processing of a projected 180 million discrete data entries. 42 zettabytes of data in Mandarin, English, Spanish, and Arabic. Third, the transferal and encoding of all that data onto DNA encapsulated in synthetic fossils. The only medium capacious and durable enough to safeguard it without degradation for the centuries to come. And last, but not least, the development of the holographic interface and gamified curricula. by which future humans will commune with Apollo, progressively unlocking heuristic learning modules, leveling up their knowledge and skills they will need to take control of the terraforming system. That is the future towards which all of our efforts will be directed. Not just the preservation of the past, but the seed for the flourishing of a new tree of knowledge. Welcome, and let us begin.
So once again, we're going to work our strategy here. I'm gonna go up here and hit this fool so I can spawn all these enemies in. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna run back and hit up this doorway, keep our distance. There are a lot of enemies in this room. And this room is strange because if you've been keeping up with this entire series, you know that most of the time they don't rush you. But right here in this engagement, the AI pushes you pretty hard, all of them at once. So I'm really working my melees, and I'm kind of hugging this wall right here because I have a little piece of cover there. It's to my right, past that door, and I can actually get in there for a second where they can't hit me, and I can come out of there by using a melee, and I kind of just swing through that piece right here. I kind of just swing through that piece of cover and kind of around it, and I'm able to get a melee shot in. Obviously, if I could pick up the heavy gun, I'd just pick it up and mow everybody down. That's what I did my first time through. Just shot everybody. Because you get like 60 bullets, I believe, with that thing. And you just mow everybody down. So it's really cool. But yeah, you funnel them all into the door. Safest strat. You can even go as far as to go up the steps we just came down behind me and go back across the catwalk and keep funneling them that way if it gets too hectic for you. And take him out that way. This dude right here gave me some problems because it's very hard to see him because he blends in with the shadows up there. Like you can see him now. I'm getting so frustrated. You'll see me do that a lot in this game where I'm frustrated and I just swing my spear. I do that later on. I actually hit an NPC with my spear just because I get so frustrated because they keep getting in my way, or I shoot him with an arrow or something because he just keeps getting in my way, so I just shoot him out of frustration. But yeah, it's very hard to see this dude because you can only see pretty much his face. And like I said, the reticle is so big in this game. I wish that circle, I think I said this in the previous comment or two, I wish the big circle wasn't there. I wish it was just the dot. Just the dot. That's all I need. It's just the dot. Max Payne did it real well when I played the Max, not the older Max Paynes. I never played those, but the one that came out on Xbox. God, a couple of years back, Max Payne 3, I believe. They just had the dot. That's all you need, just the dot. You know what I mean? But this game doesn't. I think I finally just run up here and hit this fool.
Got one right here.
That's the last of them. Alone once more.
In what should have been a cave of wonders. Look around. See if anything is left.
Welcome to Hades, Zero Dawn's extinction failsafe protocol, the ultimate killer app. Now, I know what you're thinking. The purpose of Gaia is to resurrect life. So why give her a subordinate function, only purpose of which is to wipe out life all over again? I mean, what? Just plumb crazy, ain't it? Well, no, it isn't. Reconstituting a biosphere? That's a tall order. Tech smart as Gaia may be, odds are she won't get it right the first time. I mean, imagine you're Gaia, 200 years from now, and this new biosphere growing, it's all gone wrong. Alkalines are skyrocketing, coniferous forests eroding under the lash of superstorms that would have drowned Noah. It's chaos, spinning top that won't stop wobbling. Now what are you gonna do? Release phase 1 organisms into that hot mess? Hope their CO2 and methane can balance out what you got started? Hell no. What you're gonna do, Gaia, is step aside while Hades takes over and does what you're just too darn nurturing and life-loving to do, which is burn that misbegotten mess of a biosphere to the ground so Gaia can start over. Okay, not burn, more like reverse terraforming operations and suffocating. But you get the idea. Hades takes the biosphere back to zero. Square one. blank slate. And then, only then, does it hand the steering wheel back to Gaia and say, try again, old girl. And better this time, or we'll have to do this again. That's Hades. It's pretty badass when you think about it. Extinction on demand. Death on speed dial. All for the greater good, of course, but still, kind of metal. So welcome to Hades. Welcome to the void.
Okay, so if that's the original purpose of Hades, why does it want me extinct?
We need more data.
Looks like the only way onwards.
Welcome to Eleuthia, the crown and king of Gaia's subordinate functions. For it is by Eleuthia that the human race will continue to exist. I am Patrick Brochard-Klein, the Alpha in charge of this program. Now let one thing be perfectly clear from the outset. Eleuthia is not a genetic engineering project. Our goal is to preserve the human genome, not alter it. A snapshot of human genetic diversity, literally frozen in time. The genetic quintessence of our species, unmodified. Under my watch, our activities and initiatives will comply with the 2034 clone provisions and the 2048 Rally Accords. Now that may seem a quaint, even trivial concern to you in light of present circumstances, but as one of the authors of the Accords, it is far from trivial to me. The practical challenges before us are staggering in scope and complexity, but not insurmountable. No. Global collation and provisional storage of zygotes, perfection of exogenic technologies, design and perfection of servitors to provide nurture and inculcation during early child development. All of these program components must and will proceed in tandem. To say nothing of the breakneck construction of cradle facilities at sites around the world. So, si vous êtes prêts, let us begin.
Got too much already. Cradle facilities. Elizabeth said a new generation of humans would be spawned inside such places.
She did.
All Mother Mountain. It was one of them?
There's a...
Looks like it used to hold something. Some component that got removed. The Alpha Registry master file.
intact?
Yeah. No signs of corruption.
Then what are you waiting for? Copy the file.
With this, I can restore the registry at the hatch inside Allmother. Open it. Go inside.
And grasp the secrets within.
Where I was born. Maybe who gave birth to me.
Who? Are you really so naive? There will be no who waiting for you there, Aloy. Whatever birthed you into the world was a what, not a who.
You bastard.
Oh no, I had a legitimate birth. It's you, Aloy, who are the creation of a machine. But what kind of machine and why? Why were you created?
Eclipse.
You need to get out of there. What you found is too valuable. You're too valuable.